Yeah, this week's been mad. Hay fever's caught me, man. Do you suffer from hay fever?
Not recently, not the last couple of years. I've been fine. Or not as bad, I should say.
Yeah, this is the worst time I've had it. Like this one's like because you know when you get hay fever, it's like you get a cold in it. So it's
Yeah.
like so normally it's just like nasal, like throat, headaches, but this was like a full on cold. Like I feel like I've got a cold, but I know I haven't got one. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so it's just honestly like I went out before to the parents' evening. Literally went out. Just that's the only time I went out today. And this is the reaction from stepping outside for literally for about half an hour. Like, I can't breathe or nothing, man. But yeah, man. What you saying anyway? What you saying? Apart from the stress that you just told me about offline, out of air.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's just been one of them weeks, isn't it? Where it just got unexpectedly busy. So I was supposed to be off yesterday. Um, I was supposed to be off, and then just got mad busy. But your hay fever thing sounds mad still.
You know what? You know, I never used to suffer from it as well. It's only like as I got older, and every year I get older, it gets worse. It's mad.
Mm.
I can't put. And the worst thing is, I got to cut the grass again tomorrow. I got to do the garden. You know, because when you cut the garden once, yeah, I don't know what it's like hair, in it. Like I know I haven't got any hair, but I remember having hair. Yeah, when you used to cut your hair, it grows back twice as quick in it, and the garden's no different. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember, I remember all of that. What's it? When I was younger and I didn't do it that many times. I used to cut the grass.
mm,
But it'd grow back in like 2 weeks, and then
yeah, yeah.
I try like hustle some money at my mum for doing it. But she was like, no, no,
uh,
no, because you only did it like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, yeah. But it's true, you know. Like you know, like them gardeners, like proper, you know, like proper garden. I'm not a proper gardener. I look after the garden every now and again, but I'm not like it's not pristine. But you know them man, they cut their grass like every other day or every 2 days.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like and then
the proper.
you know, like they got the strimmers and they got the what they call the hedge clippers and all them
Hedge
things.
trim,
They got all
yeah,
them.
give it a little shape up.
Yeah, man. Edward Scissorhands and all that. Do you know what I mean? It's mad though. But yeah. Did you see the video of this week of In fact, no. Let me take it back. So I'm gonna. You done something on one of the episodes actually that made me think. I wrote it down. Context, because I talk about
Mm,
things on here and I
mm,
just
mm.
assume people know what I'm talking about, but they don't.
Yeah.
So for context, I think it was last week or the week before. Did you see the Arsenal um, tweet that went kind of viral because I think one of the mascots, the players were coming into the stadium. Bearing in mind this was
It's
before a
before a
big
game, yeah.
game. It was a
Yeah.
big game. I think it was either was it you man? Was it United or Liverpool?
No, it might have been it was at Highbury at Emirates, but it might have been a derby game or something.
It was a big game anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So them man are focused, yeah. And everyone walks past apparently. No one really high fives or no one says hello to her. Nothing like that. And then it came out, the dad came out and tweeted that they actually did speak to her when they were on the pitch. They took pictures with her, they interacted with her and all that stuff. But then just gone recently, I think only a couple of days ago, there was another one with Leeds coming at the hotel. There was a young boy there and they all kind of walked past him, headphones on, all of that stuff. My question to you is, are we living in a world where people just feel that they are privileged to be spoken to by someone who's probably had 20 cameras in his face already in that day? Like, are we living in that world where people just assume because they're footballers that they have to talk to you, they have to stop, or am I just being cruel? Because I got called a bastard before.
For this or for something else.
No, for this, because
I'm joking.
I'm of the opinion that they don't have to talk to you. They're not obliged to talk to you. I'm sorry. They're there to do a job. You don't ask Kevin in Sainsbury's who's packing out the shelf with Warburton spread to talk to you. So what is the difference? They're working. But am I being harsh? Let me what do you think?
I don't think you're being harsh. The the Arsenal one is just what we talked about, and Chris Rock's got a whole stand up on Netflix about it. Selective outrage, innit? That's what that
Yep.
is. So and it rings true because of once the dad, I think it was the dad that you're saying came out, because I saw the thing and I was like, that is a bit, it's a bit mad where they just come and they just sign and bounce. But I was like, but this is not the whole video. So I have no idea when this is, what the agreement is. Um, the Leeds one is a little bit different. I think people are angry because I think it was after they got slapped, innit? It was one, I know they've been getting slapped regular, but I think it was after they lost 4-1 to somebody. Can't remember who it was.
Was it Newcastle? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was that. It might have been that game. And people were annoyed, I think, because I don't think they went over to the fans. And then afterwards, they didn't spend no time with the fans as well. And what you were saying, it's kind of true. Like, people do feel entitled, but I always feel like you can just at least just say hello. Like, I think it's different if you're in public. If you're I don't know, in Selfridges or Trafford Centre or something, and there's bare people coming up to you and asking, then yeah, you're in your right, man, to say just leave me alone, innit? But if you after the game, I think it's courtesy to go and sign, but at the same time, I don't think you're obliged to do it, and I don't think it's helpful. People saying, "Oh, this has happened, that's happened," when there's no context to it really. Like, we don't know what's going on. Like, that person's like auntie could have just died, and they just want to get on the bus and go home. Or, you've heard it before where there's footballers where their partners have had miscarriages and they're finished for like 2 weeks, and they've just been hammered and they just want to go home because they're feeling murdered. So I don't think they should have to do it, to be honest.
I think it's mad because I know there's one club in particular. I won't even bait them up because it's just long. But there's a club that is like stopped their players talking to fans off the coach, getting on the coach, all of that stuff.
Mm.
We're living in a world, where people will do anything to go viral on TikTok or any kind of thing. And people aren't afraid to use their kids as well. Let's be honest. Like, if you could use your kid as part of the prank, just to get them to
Yeah,
entice and
definitely.
engage with the person, then I can see why. So I know one club that does that. We don't know if all the clubs have told their players to stop engaging with fans, especially before games as well. Because, do you know what I mean? Like, they've sometimes as well, they're on a strict schedule. Like, they've got to be in the ground by a particular time. They've got to make sure that they're there. They have their warm up. It's all regimented for them. They've got to be. It's all set for them. So if they stop for one child, let's say there's 10, then they've got to stop for another 9. They can't pass the
100%.
other 9. So I think it comes down to that for me personally. That's why I think it is a bit of entitlement where they're like, "Well, you didn't speak to me," and I feel like, what's it? So what? They never spoke to you. They don't. Do you know what I mean? They're humans. They don't have to speak to you. Me personally, I just think I go back to Marcus Rashford. There was a game, one game, and this is when Marcus Rashford was not putting the ball in the back of the net, and everyone was on top of him, just up his ass. And I remember he came out the ground, and he was just walking onto the coach, who was minding his business, and there was a man shouting abuse at him, and the man shit himself because Rashford came over to him and confronted him and said,
I feel for you.
What's going on?"
Yeah.
Now, that's probably another reason why the club have told players don't interact with fans. Because it's all well and good when they want a little hug and little photo, but when they're calling you monkey this or whatever, or being racial whatever, what then? What?
No,
So
I agree, because you had the incident with Eric Dyer. Well, I know it's different because his
yeah, it
family
got in the crowd, didn't
were
it?
getting, yeah, and you got things like that, and also coming back, particularly the Arsenal one. We don't know what the arrangement has been. We don't know if they just said to the girl, "Look, the players are, they're going to be getting ready for the match. It's your team, so we want to make sure that they're focused." So they're just going to sign it, and then later on they'll come and have a chat with you, or they'll take picture. We got no idea. And the one with that one that I find is a bit mad is, who's released that video? Because it's obviously not the fans. If someone's released a video or somebody else's kid for
What?
clout,
Which one? The Leeds one or
the
the
Arsenal
the?
one, the Arsenal one.
I think it wasn't not the dad. I think it was the parents. The dad was there because he had to come out. He came out afterwards on Twitter and said,
But yeah,
"Sorry, go on."
no, I was gonna say, but I think that maybe they've released a video, but they haven't. They've not captioned it with, "Oh, look at what the Arsenal players have done." Someone else has taken it
Oh,
upon
okay.
themselves to say, "Oh, this is bad, man."
Yeah, but
And
I
I'm
think they could have
thinking,
just. I think was it not Arsenal? The Arsenal account or either the
Oh, that's
dad.
it. Yeah, yeah,
So either
yeah.
the Arsenal account or the dad, one of the two posted it originally, and then I think someone's just like recorded it or screen grabbed the video, and then they've gone on and said, "Oh, this is disgusting." They just walk past them, look at them with their headphones on. Them multi-millionaires with their headphones on. So what?
But that's what I mean. Like, how can you just take a video of somebody else's kid
And then,
and start running with, like, that's mad. Like, what's it's none of your business. You know what
but
I mean?
this is why I say I don't put my kids on the net like that anymore. I don't. I was going off topic slightly, but I was reading. I can't remember. I need to get the article back up, but it was basically saying like the amount of people like that was it was like 80% or something mad. The highest percentage of people that watch other people's kids or they use other people's kids' pictures on the internet. Like, I need to reread the article properly, but it's nuts. You got to think like when you've got like what they called unprotected or unprivate account, and anyone can just click your name and can basically get access to your life, your world. There's people that post their kids every single day on the internet. Like, so it's not even, and it's just a mad world, isn't it? Like we keep saying on here every week, it's the weird wide web. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I thought
No,
I'd just get your views,
it's
man,
true.
because
Yeah, I just think there's a time and a place in it to do it. I think because of the nature of football and just the way I see football, I think players should go and at least engage with the fans at a certain point. But then there's designated times for that, and I think it's unfair with a lot of clubs, particularly Arsenal, because I know that the Arsenal man are out there engaging. Like I watched I can't remember the All or Nothing version of Arsenal, and they're out there doing that community work. Like they're doing a lot of volunteer.
they get paid to do that though. Because let's
No,
not
no,
forget.
it's true. But even when you see some of the players, you know that they do it because they
Nah, I
it
hear what you're
means
saying,
something to them. Do you know what I mean? So
but
to run that narrative against some of them players as well, I think it's taking the piss a bit.
you,
Even if you're getting paid to do, I get paid to do my job, but doesn't mean I don't care about what I do. Do you know what I mean?
nah, I
I
hear what you're
still like to
saying.
help people. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, of
So
course.
yeah,
But I just think, for me personally, I just think it's mad that like people think because they're a footballer, they have to stop and talk to you. Like you said, we don't know what goes on in these people's lives, man. Do you know what I mean? Like they could have had the maddest day. And the reason I say that is because I don't know if you've seen the Jesse Lingard. I think we spoke about it actually, the Jesse Lingard documentary and all the stuff that he was going through and still having to play football at the time as well. Imagine someone like him who's going through all of those things, and then someone's like, "Oh, but you didn't say hello to my son." Like, do you know how many kids he's probably seen in that one day? And they've asked him for a picture. Can we chat to you for 10 minutes? And he tries to take a shit, and there's like someone waiting outside the door for him. Do you know? No, because it happens.
no, it's that's,
True
happens to
story.
me at work as well.
I was in a restaurant 2 years ago, a year ago, just when Luis Diaz had just signed for Liverpool, and I was out. I think I was out for my birthday, I was having a meal, and he come in, and he was like a couple of tables away, and before he'd even had his drinks, so he hadn't even ordered food or nothing, and the amount of, he must have had at least 6 different tables come over to him just to ask for a picture, and he's just out with one of his mates. You know what I mean? Just out chilling, just wants to have a little quiet night. He's got people just coming over like phones. They don't even ask some of them. They just come over, snap. Yeah, and I'm like, do you know what I'm saying? So imagine when you're doing that. This isn't like 9 o'clock of an evening on a Saturday. You're unwinding, and then man are talking about, oh, but you didn't say hello to my kid before the game. Like, you just took a picture of me without even asking. So I get it. I do get where they're for me. People can call me a bastard all they want. I don't really care. But if it was me, I wouldn't say hello to. If someone said to me, "You didn't say hello to my kid," I'd never say hello to another kid in my life, just out of spite. Just out of spite, because I'm still getting paid. I'm still kicking football, and I'm still going home to my family. So I don't care about someone else's picnic that's not even mine. Why would I care? So yeah, come on. You shouldn't have said nothing, and then we would have been all right. Stupid fool.